Hey class, first I want to start off with hoping that each of you are having a great semester and that your classes are going well. Secondly, tonight I'm going to be teaching you about the CMM theory as best to my abilities. This is the Coordinated Management of Meaning theory, which can be found in Chapter 6 of each of our textbooks. Now, this theory was brought up by Barnett Pierce and Vernon Cronin, and they believe that the quality of our own individual personal lives and our social world directly relate to the quality and type of communication that we each engage in regularly as individuals. The CMM, or Coordinated Management of Meaning theory, is based on the idea that our own in conversations help form our own social realities and are shaped by the worlds we each create as individuals. One of the documents I'm going to be referencing tonight is the Watershed Research Traditions in Human Communication Theory. Now, this is just a place where a lot of theorists kind of come together and talk about and better explain these theories. And so within their section about CMM, they say that they believe CMM is not only a theory but also a research enterprise. It also not only deals with something of fundamental importance to human beings, but also has a demonstrated record of intellectual and practical success. CMM just theorizes basically that communication is a process that allows each of us individually to create and manage our own social reality. CMM is a social constructionist theory, meaning that it assumes the social world is made rather than found. On page 67 is where you can find this information, and it just says that CMM starts with the assertion that persons in conversation co-construct their own social realities and are simultaneously shaped by the worlds they each create. The University of Colorado at Boulder have their own website where they explain this theory, and this is one of the resources that you can use if this theory is very hard to understand. So on this website, they explain the in conversations, and they believe that it's made up of 3 parts. The first part is the coherence, and this is making sense of events. This is the stories told section. The second part is coordination, which is collaborating to make these events happen, which is the stories lived section. And the third part is the mystery, which is sense of wonder you feel when communication has surprising outcomes or is meaningful in ways that are hard to express. So this is the stories unexpressed section. Now the first 2 sections, this is the coherence and coordination, stories told and stories lived. A lot of people kind of mesh these together and believe them to be the same thing, but they're totally different. And theorists really define that line, because they say that while coherences are the narratives that we use to make sense of the stories lived, and the other is totally different than that. And so one is the stuff of language, and the other is the way in which we act from the stories that are being told to us. To better understand this, I will explain from the hierarchical serpentine model seen on page 74 of your book, or I'm going to insert it here. This model combines the hierarchy model of meaning and the serpentine model. So within this model, there's 3 different people, as you can see as examples, and each of them have their own 5 sections or 5 ellipses or circles, rings around the middle circle, which is the speech act circle. And page 74 defines speech act as any verbal or nonverbal message as part of an interaction, the basic building block of the social universe that each person creates. And the other 4 levels are made up of various other things, and they are episode, relationship, identity, and culture. So first I'm going to tell you about episode, which is held together by a story and has a beginning and end. Next is relationship, which is the type of relationship or what's going on between the two communicators or the people that are talking to one another. The third is identity, which is the self-image or the self-concept that the speaker has of themselves. And the fourth is culture, which is people with web of shared values and meaning. So as you can tell, each person's is kind of different, and so they each have the middle circle, which is the speech acts, because that's all what they have in common. But within each of them, the first ring, which is seen on the outside, not the one that's right above the circle, but the outside ring, is what is of most importance to them. So while some people value culture, other people value relationship while communicating. So it kind of just depends on who you are individually as to what you value and what you put first. And as it gradually goes down, it kind of distinguishes what's less important the closer you get to the speech act circle, And so this theory is said to be interpretive, practical, and also critical. And the reason for this is that it just kind of fits under everything. No one can really define it or say that it's just this or this just this or this just this. And so theorists are trying to do their best to really figure out what exactly kind of theory this is. But on an article called The Social Approaches to Communication, in the chapter 12 of this article by Wendy Leeds, her work, sorry, it's kind of hard to read, she believes that this is absolutely a practical theory, along with what the other two theorists believe as well. Practical theory, we join with those whose activities are of interest and may do so from a variety of positions. And that's straight from what she wrote. CMM can be considered practical because it illustrates the idea of a practice and it has action within it. And Pierce and Cronin believe a practical theory should offer a variety of tools to help each of us understand flaws, patterns of communications, and ways to talk that can help create a more healthy social environment. And so within these we find positions such as therapists, mediators, teachers, and things other than that that use the CMM theory to reach their clients or their patients and to help them have a healthy social environment. And this article basically continually argues the idea that this theory is practical by providing more real-life examples and helping you to understand that this is used regularly and it's practical as opposed to just being talked about or being understood. So I hope that this presentation has helped you understand what the CMM theory is more along those lines, and I've really tried to explain it the best way I can. And if any of you have questions, please feel free to ask, and I hope each of you do well on your quiz and have a great rest of your week. Bye, guys.